gap between the middle class and the average American and people struggling to get into it, and the people at the top is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, folks. And at some point, you got to stop and say to yourself, as a matter of conscience, what is going on here? We've got to create jobs. We've got to move to a better economy. We've got to move to an alternative fueled economy. We've got to have breakthroughs in science. We need to pass stem cell research that the president vetoed. We need health care for all Americans that's affordable and accessible. We need to invest in our infrastructure. We got to fix our schools. We got to put cops back on the street. We've got to invest in the future of this nation. So why am I running for re-election? I'll tell you why I'm running for re-election, because I think I'm getting the job done for our state, despite the fact that we have to do it over the objections of the Republicans, and because I think we're on the brink of maybe being able to break through and legislate and focus on the kinds of things that I've just talked about. What we've done is put in place a number of different measures that are going to have an impact on New Bedford and Fall River and Brockton and Lawrence's and many other communities' ability to be able to respond to this problem. And what it is $11 billion in the mortgage revenue bond program, which translates to $280 million that will come here to Massachusetts and be used for first-time home buyers, which gets people into homes that they can now afford at the lower cost of those homes, but also keeps people in their homes who are facing the crisis of foreclosure. We finally, 7 months after I made a proposal to put $15 billion into housing, got a bill passed, because the Republicans kept delaying and delaying and delaying and refusing, and the White House refused to do it. I spoke to the president personally about this last January. And they all nodded their heads and said, sounds like a good idea. Nothing happened. Well, we finally passed it. My provision for $11 billion of revenue bonds for housing, which will help us keep people in their homes and put first-time home buyers in their homes and begin to restore confidence to the economy. 2, my provision for a housing trust fund that I've been working on for 10 years, which takes the profits out of the federal housing program and puts it back into a revolving fund for investment in housing. Number 3, my provision to prevent veterans coming back from Iraq or Afghanistan from being foreclosed on if they're in economic difficulty because of their service, and freezing their interest rates at 6%, no higher than 6%, so that they have a chance to get back on their feet.
Senator John Kerry made a stop in Worcester Monday as part of his Kerry on Your Corner campaign tour. The junior U.S. Senator is being challenged in the Democratic primary for the first time in 24 years.
It doesn't change anything in terms of what I do, because I never take it for granted. I've always gone out and worked hard. I asked the voters for their support, and I think I've delivered to Massachusetts. I'm very proud of my record, fighting for health care for children, fighting for the environment, alternative energy program, heating oil assistance for the elderly and others. I think I have a record well worth running on, and I'm proud of it, and I want to continue to use the seniority I have in the United States Senate to work for the state. I think that what happened today is a very important step. I was in touch with the kinds of things that I'm doing. To give you an example, I was on the phone with Mr. Zardari just 2 days ago talking about this transition. I'm chairman of that subcommittee. There's a lot of major issues going on, and I'm delighted that this transition is taking place the way it is. I think it's a victory, in a sense, for the democratic process. It was very clear that the people voted against Musharraf in the context of the election. I was there as part of a delegation, Senator Biden and Senator Hagel, in oversight of that election. We felt it was very important for the constitutional process to work, and this is the constitutional process. They had a right to have impeachment if necessary, but he made steps necessary to avoid that. And hopefully now we can get stability in the government and move forward. There are major economic challenges, major security challenges, and make no mistake, they are critical to the United States of America. The reason we are concerned about this is because our troops are over in Afghanistan, because Osama bin Laden is in northwest Pakistan. They have nuclear weapons in that country, and it is vital for us to be able to be successful there for the security of our country. Look, I've been both feet first into this effort to elect a new president from way back in January. And people thought I was nuts, but I made my choice, and I worked hard for that choice. And I'm working hard now. I'm excited about the prospect. It's still going to be tight. It's going to be tough. Nothing is a given. And we go on. But, you know, you don't quit and turn around and hide. No, I think that's silly and self-indulgent. I'm excited about what we're working on and where we're going.
We gotta
Candidate McCain now supports the very wartime tax cuts that Senator McCain once called irresponsible. Candidate McCain criticizes Senator McCain's own climate change bill. Candidate McCain says he would vote against the immigration bill that Senator McCain wrote. Are you kidding me, folks? Talk about being for it before you're against it.
Don't need to tell you, people watching tonight you can answer this before I do, saying, sure now. He took on swift voting in his speech tonight, but not when he ran
No, we did,
for
actually.
president.
That's not true. We took it on. The problem we made was a miscalculation about the truth being out there. We thought enough had been done. And the mistake we made was not spending enough money to answer the lies. We should have done that. I accept responsibility for that. But believe me, we answered it. Countless newspapers wrote the truth. Countless members of my crew went out and spoke the truth, and we answered it. But fundamentally, Barack Obama and the party have learned the lessons. The Swift boat folks spent about $40 million. We didn't spend money to answer those ads directly. Barack Obama will be able to compete in every state where he chooses to. We had to pull out of states early. I had to pull out of Virginia 3 weeks early. I had to pull out of Colorado 3 weeks early. I lost them by a few points. Barack Obama will be able to carry his message, and he will not waste an instant in making sure that we match them dollar for dollar with respect to any effort to take him on, smear him, lie about him, do the things that we've seen already in this campaign.
John McCain wanted to choose Tom Ridge. He wanted to choose Joe Lieberman. He wanted to choose another candidate, but you know what? Rush Limbaugh and the right wing vetoed it. And John McCain was forced to come back and pick a sort of Cheney-esque social conservative who's going to satisfy the base. What John McCain has proven with this choice is that John McCain is the prisoner of the right wing, not a maverick. I do bring you one really great piece of news, and it gets better every single day. And that is that as of today, there are only 168 more days of George Bush.